A little birdie told me that you wanted to make music like this. Well, I'm gonna show you how using only FL stock plugins. No guitar necessary. So since guitar is kind of the main theme of this dreamy wall of sound distorted mess, let's go ahead and grab a guitar. I'm gonna be using Flex, which is included in FL Studio, and I'm gonna use the Essential Guitarist Pack. I'm gonna use this Dark Star acoustic, and then I'm just gonna add my own distortion later. So let's turn off the reverb and delay for now. A really important thing with Shoegaze is you need to stick with 2 really boring but dreamy chords. No more, or people are gonna get too interested in it and it'll be too interesting. There's 2 different types of chords you can use for this. One is sustained, and if sustained chords confuses you, because it did me too for forever, I'm going to teach you a really easy way to make sustained chords. We're going to make an E minor sustained. How that is E, B, and then G, and then we're going to go 2 semitones up from G and just put an A there. So that's it. It's just a minor triad, and then you go up 2 semitones from the minor third, and then you got a sustained chord. Let's go lower. Now we're going to copy this chord over. We're going to bring that E to a C, and we're going to bring this B, which is showing up on my FL Studio as an H for some reason, and we're going to take it to G, because that is the 5th of C. And we're going to leave these 2 the same. And I think that's what makes it sustained, is that part of the chord is staying whenever it changes, but this is going to give it a really dreamy atmosphere. The second type of chord progression you can do is the infamous emo 2 chord progression that people like All Time Low used a lot. It's basically going to be an E power chord, except the E that's at a higher octave is going to be 1 semitone down, and that gives you this pretty little doohickey. Then we're going to copy that over, and we're going to do the same exact chord structure, except it's going to be an A. So it'll go like this. If you want more uplifting shoegaze, do a chord progression like that. If, however, you're like me and you like to be melancholic, we're going to go with the first one that we did, which is just going to be the E, B, G, A. Copy that over, bring the E to C, bring the B to G. So now that we have our chords, we're going to open up Fruity Hardcore. We're going to turn off the delay, the chorus, and the noise gate. We're just going to use the distortion for now. Turn this output gain down some so you don't die. And just play around with the distortion until you get a sound you like. And you know, we could around and find out with some chorus. We're gonna put a limiter after everything, so just go to Fruity Limiter. So just in case it gets too loud, we got something to tame it. We gotta keep it tame. Now that we have our distortion, what we need is a ridiculous amount of reverb, because the combination of distortion and reverb is what's gonna make us gaze at our shoes. It's distorted, it's bad, but it's reverbed out, it's good. It's like euphoric melancholy. So I'm gonna turn the wet up pretty high, and I'm gonna go down here. If you take this all the way to the left, it makes your reverb like super wide. Take the size up, we'll turn the decay up to, it doesn't matter. Before the reverb, I'm gonna add a parametric EQ2 because I'm hearing a little bit too much going on up here. So we're just gonna dip that out a little bit. Now, if you wanted to, with these chords, you can make like a melody with them. So instead of it just being the chords, it could be like. And the easy thing with melodies, just use the chord and just pick notes from the chord and just f around till you find out. You feel me? We have our guitar melody. Now we need to have some over-the-top, ridiculously distorted drums to complement our ridiculously distorted guitar. This is a drum beat I've already made. just a very simple beat with some drums I got from Splice, which I know isn't FL stock, but like, I mean, everybody's got Splice. And if you don't, just look up free rock drum kit on YouTube. Like, you can find free rock samples. Don't use FL stock drums. After you have your drum beat, I've got my kick, snare, ride, and my cymbals, and my hi-hat all going into this drum bus. But the way you do that, you just select them all and route to this track only. What we're gonna do to this drum bus is distort it. We're gonna put on fruity fast distortion, maybe fuzz. Let's put a limiter on it so it doesn't get too crazy. And we're gonna use some reverb after the distortion, just like we did with the guitar. I'll probably turn down the cymbal a little bit and the ride. So then that, with the guitar, we already have this. I'm just gonna dip out some of the mids in the drums. Now, for the vocals, the great thing about shoegaze is it doesn't matter what the you say, as long as it's drenched in reverb and auto-tuned. Now you want to take your horribly recorded vocals, put them into a mixer track, and I'm going to compress the shit out of them with the fruity limiter. And the way you compress the shit out of something is just turning the threshold down all the way, ratio up all the way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Attack down all the way, release up pretty high. Turn that gain up. Baby powers and the treason. Gonna use a fruity EQ before the compressor. Baby powers and the treason. We might as well distort the vocals because everything else is distorted. Baby powers and the treason. Let's put a whole bunch of reverb on it. Baby powers and the treason. Don't you see? Those vocals might actually be a little too melodic for shoegaze, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so we're gonna roll with it. And last thing, could put some chorus on it to give it some extra old type of feel. Don't you see? My email has to. Yep, that's how you make shoegaze. If I missed anything, or if there's anything else you'd like to see, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.